You want to know who you should pick when you get to 300 pulls on the stable channel, i.e. the standard banner. Well, come on in, Average Luck Gamer here, and I'm going to break down which agent you should be choosing for your account when you get to 300 pulls. Now, quickly before we get stuck in, I want to mention that this is not whale content. I am not recommending you to pull on the stable banner unless you get these black tapes, the master tapes, they're called. You will get them through story progression and the free tier of the battle pass, and the game gave a bunch away for free at the start. You will get to 300 eventually. It may take a couple of months as a free-to-play or low-spend player, maybe faster if there are more freebies, but there's certainly no harm in planning things out now, because there would be nothing worse than sitting on the 290 pulls and not wanting to pull because you just didn't know who to pick, and that's where this video comes in. How's this going to work? Well, I'm going to give you some pros, I'm going to give you some cons, and I'm going to focus on if you got X character, then this is why you might want to pull this character. So really we're going to focus more on like a team building aspect, and we're going to keep it short and sweet for each character. So let's get into it. Let's address the elephant in the room at the start, and by elephant I mean wolf. If you have Ellen, then you should pull Lycaon, like the wolf guy. Not only is he a really good stun unit, he's a definitive upgrade over Ambi. He also has really great team synergy in an Ellen team because of the ice element and same faction. He's pretty easy to play and he dishes out solid damage while also stunning. So if you don't have Ellen but you're planning to get her, maybe on a rerun, then he may also still be a really good pick. If you have a well-invested Rina or Corin team, Rina and Corin team, then he could slot in as the stun agent there until you eventually get Ellen. Of course, you could always pick him if you are a furry, but if that's true, then stop watching my video and go touch some grass. I said grass. Moving on, Rina. Rina is an electric support agent. Her kit revolves mostly around enhancing shock and boosting pen. Naturally, she works really well in electric teams, but she's also part of Victoria Housekeeping, meaning she can slot into those teams too. Naturally, as she's built to improve shock damage, she works really well with Anby, Anton, and or Grace. So if you've built up your Anton while you're waiting on like an S-rank DPS, or if you got lucky with a Grace, then she could be your best pick. Honestly, Rina is pretty versatile with the Victoria Housekeeping synergy and the A ranks Ambi and Anton, so she should definitely be someone that you should consider. Next up, Soldier 11. Soldier 11 is the only DPS on this list, so you may want to consider her for that reason. But depending on how far we are into the game's life cycle when you watch this video, if she's on the standard banner, she's pretty likely to get power cracked. That said, Soldier 11 is also currently the only member of Obol Squad, and if we get a few stacked S or A rank agents from Obol Squad in a few patches time, maybe that puts Soldier 11 back on the top of the list. Additionally, her dealing fire damage does make her the perfect pick if you lucked out with a Koleda, and or if you have some investment into your Ben, as they will enable her passive, which boosts her fire damage. Plus, from a design perspective, she's the most normal looking female character. Kind of. I mean, she wears sunglasses at night, but at least her assets aren't at constant risk of hitting her in the face. I guess we should talk about Grace now. Grace is an electric anomaly character, and anomaly characters want to deal lots of elemental damage. For Grace, she wants to apply lots of shock. Due to this, she pairs well with free-to-play characters like Anton, Ambi, and if you manage to pull either Rina or Koleda already, she would work really well in teams with either of them. Moving forwards, I think it's kind of worth mentioning that meta could head in a disorder damage direction, which with anomaly characters who typically have the right stats for that, really do enable disorder. So potentially I would see her future value being slightly higher than some others on this list if disorder is something that Hoyo leans into and future characters really enable. I'll pop my disorder video at the end of this one, where I kind of break down a basic guide on how disorder works, so you can see how it's actually quite easy to get really high damage. Before we move on, I also just wanted to say thanks for all the views on my other videos. The support I've gotten since starting this channel has been amazing, and I'm definitely not something I was expecting at all. You are very handsome and or pretty. And I'm just going to flash up this image though from my recent vid stats and say it really helps small channels like mine if you take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps me understand what you enjoy, and you get pinged when I upload. It's free, and you can unsubscribe if I ever tell you to pull Grace copies for those feed pics. Moving on to Koleda. Koleda is a fire stun unit. Her damage isn't really high enough to use her to fill as a DPS though. She wants Ben on her team because he kind of upgrades her abilities a little, so if you've built him up a little, then she's definitely worth considering. Additionally, if you also got Soldier 11 through pulls on the stable channel, she enables Soldier 11 to be used to her full potential because of the fire synergy, while also being a really good stun unit for Soldier 11. So she would be an upgrade over Ambi there and enable some potential disorder shenanigans if you have a well-invested Grace as well. And lastly, Nekomata. She's an assault damage agent and probably the easiest to recommend. You can just take Billy out of the Cunning Hares lineup and slot her in. She'd also work really well in a team with Piper and Lucy, I think. I'd like to test it. I don't have her. But anyway, she's pretty free-to-play friendly. Honestly, if you've been kind of unlucky with your pulls, or maybe if all of your S ranks are tied up already on your first team, then she could actually be the pick because, you know, you can just put her into the Cunning Hares team. And that's all of the agents on the Selector. But before you go getting too excited and blow your paycheck on the standard banner, I'm just going to resurface what I said at the start here. Take it slow. You'll get to 300 eventually. It doesn't have to be today or this month even. You'll get there when you get there. And you can rewatch this video when you do. Don't spend your polychrome on the stable channel. Save that for the main banner and the limited characters. Also, if you like one of the agents more than the others, then you should just choose that. Every character has free-to-play teams that you can make work with a bit of investment. So don't let me tell you what to do. You're your own person. If you just love the living heck out of Koleda, then go for it. Right, well, anyway. I have one pull left and I think I'm just going to send it. Ooh-wee. Oh, it's an S rank. As long as it's a character, I think I'll be fine. Just, you know, plan my pulls appropriately. The pain of below average luck. Yep, I'm done. I think I might be done for a while. Good luck, kid, and I'll be back tomorrow. Unless I uninstall it. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. See you later. The disorder vid should pop up now if you're interested. As always, like and subscribe for better than average luck on your next pulls. And let me know down below who you're planning to go for.